Hello, Dr. Nicola, and I am jumping on because there has been this incredible theme happening this week. And I know it's only Tuesday, but it's been coming up with almost all of my clients this week. And whenever that happens, I really want to bring that to you. And that is this idea of being present in the now moment for when we've had symptoms that have felt chronic. And what I mean by chronic, for example, would be like chronic anxiety or chronic pain, chronic inflammation, chronic digestive issues, so many things that have been showing up in our life over and over again, that we start to wake up and just assume that we are going to feel the same way today, even though today is a brand new day and there's a lot of opportunities available to us every day. And what's fascinating to me is what I'm working on right now with folks this week is to really come into this now moment and notice what is happening in your body today. And so a really easy way to do this is by dropping into the physical sensations that are happening in your body now. So for example, with some of my clients that I'm working with on anxiety, it could be increased heart rate, could be feeling dizzy, blurry vision, feeling nauseous, feeling an increase of pain in the body. Well, and what I noticed this week as I was talking to people is they were like, well, I went into panic, but it was just my heart rate that went up. I didn't have this, I didn't have that, or it was just my thoughts that went wild, but my body actually stayed pretty calm. Uh, so these are examples of how we can check in with what's happening today in order to ground us in the now moment. Because so often our beliefs and our mind and our thoughts and our worries will have us locked into our past experience. And that really has a big old filter on what our current experience is going to be. Or we are worrying about something in the future, but we're worried about things that are based on what's happened to us in the past, either things that have happened or things that we've worried about. And so when we come into the physical sensations in the body, we really free ourselves in order to be able to be with what's here now. And that's where the healing is getting out of this mindset of my anxiety, my pain, my chronic blah, 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 the thing that's always here, just fill in the blank with the symptom. If we can move out of that and wake up with a curiosity, how does my body feel today? How does my body feel at noon versus 8 o'clock this morning versus 5 o'clock tonight? What's going on moment to moment? And the same thing would be kind of mood and attitude, like, oh, I had a bad day. And it's like, oh, if I reflect on every moment of the day, were they all bad? Or is that just the thing that I'm choosing to focus on? I want to give you an example of how these things could be related to things that we're holding on to and fears and that sort of things, in that um, when there is this one patient I'm working with has pain and inflammation, has had that in her body for many, many years, 15 years. And what's interesting is as she's healing, she is experiencing pain also, but she went and got some labs run. And the labs, all of her inflammatory markers are normal. Her rheumatoid markers, which have been sky high, are all normal. So her labs have all normalized. And but she's still like looking at her joints saying like, I can really see all the inflammation. What's fascinating though is that her partner doesn't see the inflammation. Her family is not seeing the inflammation. They've seen it for, the entire time that she has been navigating this illness. And so what we were talking about yesterday is how powerful the mind is to keep us in this old mindset, and that there's usually something that's holding us back from stepping out of that old pattern and into what's really here today. And for this particular person, when we were diving in, what came up was this idea of a fear of failure. And so she had been carrying this fear of failure because for a really long time, I'm just going to switch off. Time she had an excuse, this pretty intense pain and inflammation she had been navigating for 15 years provided an opportunity or an excuse, as it was, those are her words, not mine, if something didn't go well or she didn't feel up to taking care of, something that needed to be taken care of, doing a chore, that sort of thing, that she could fall back on this illness, which was legitimate, rather than just saying, I didn't feel like cleaning the kitchen, or I didn't get to folding the laundry, or I kind of ran out of steam and didn't get to all my emails in a timely way, or finish this project, or whatever the things are that we beat ourselves up for. And so as we again got closer to that mind-body connection, that emotional undercurrent that was keeping her in this place of believing that it couldn't be possible that she was free of pain and inflammation, even though her labs were coming up as normal and her physical body wasn't expressing in the same way. She was literally seeing her body in the past. So my invitation to you is, don't assume. Be curious. Even if you've been living with something for decades, wake up every day with curiosity. Notice the differences. Celebrate the things that are maybe freeing of those old patterns and habits and things like that you might have been walking with, because this is what's going to bring you into the present moment. And being in the present is the only place that we can heal. We can certainly visit the past, and we can play with circular time and get out of the linear time structure, and we can talk about that another time. But we can go back to the past and we can heal things. But so many of us, emotionally, physically, spiritually, are living from a place that isn't actually happening now, but we're reliving it in our cellular biology, and we're reliving it in our brain and in our thoughts. And so when we can shift out of that, then we can really put ourselves in a position to, and I don't say this word lightly, but really expect miracles and see them happening in our body, in our relationships, in our emotional state, and in a peace and freedom that maybe we haven't experienced in our minds before. I'd love to hear about anything that, if you've played with this before, or if you've had something that you've done to move you out of this mindset. If you want to drop in a little deeper to these conversations, please feel free to join us in a membership. You can find those through the website puravitahealthcare.com, and we will see you next time.